I bought, like, see that NutriBullet that I made my smoothie with. If you see my story, I was saying about how I usually use the Ninja, like the Ninja Bullet. And yesterday I was down at the supermarket and I saw, oh, I'd been told that the Bullet is not as great, but I saw, oh, it was on sale, so I'll just get the Bullet. I can tell you what, like, after that one use, no, I could smell the motor burning out, and it didn't crush the ice the way that the Ninja did. It's definitely, if you're going to choose between the NutriBullet and the Nutri Ninja, definitely go the Ninja. And I know that it is an appliance. It is a bit expensive, you know, but I tell you what, it's the one kitchen appliance that I cannot live without. Mine died a few months ago, and financially I've been a bit tight for cash right recently, but I've actually been missing my Ninja, my smoothie maker, so much. Tomorrow I'm going to go get a Ninja because I'm going to Bondi Junction and they have a store there that has the Ninjas down in there, so I'm going to go get another one because I've totally missed making my smoothies like every single day. I really miss it. But yes, Ninja over Bullet. Definitely. Start of Women's Health Week, and if you go down to Anytime Fitness Hyde Park, there is free lifestyle and health checks for women all week. It's not just, as I said, all about like physical health. There's mental health, there's sexual health. It's all just, you know, a whole big thing. So if you go down to the gym, there is free for women. Not only bring a girlfriend for free for all of this week, but free lifestyle and health checks for women. Today, for Women's Health Week, I'm going to do my breast augmentation. So I do have a breast augmentation. I got my breast augmentation done in 2011. The reason that I got it done was I actually always wanted my breasts done. My body symmetry is very much like my father's side of the family, which are very flat-chested, whereas my mother's side have naturally huge breasts, right? So I was also very athletic, which is another reason why I probably stunted my growth when I was a little bit younger as well. And I was probably one of the first in my whole entire year at school to start developing, but then it just stopped. I did not get bigger breasts past the age of like 9, 10 when I first started getting, like, literally they were like nipples, but just a little tiny bit bigger. Like, I just had nothing there. And then, you know, this was the era that, like, you know, big fake breasts were in fashion, and I felt really, my best friend in school, she had giant naturals, right? And I was always like, why am I not growing? Why am I not growing anymore? Like, it was just, you know. And then later on, you know, when I started, you know, being with boys, and then I had a couple ones that would make fun of, you know, oh, you've got no, and you know, this really played on my mind, to the point that, like, at a certain point when I had regular boyfriend, like, you know, regular ones, I would, like, you know, have intimacy with them and not take off my sports bra. And, you know, to be honest, most of the time I didn't even need to wear a bra because I had pretty much just like nipples there, or I would just wear a sports bra, right? But it would be like, I would feel so self-conscious to take off my bra because I had nothing there, and I was like, just felt unwomanly. I felt like my clothes would fit nicer if I had them done, and I'd be more self-confident. And so I kind of like always wanted to get them done. It was really, for me, it was more a financial thing, because I left home when I was 15, and at that time I had a regular job. I worked for the government, so I was on just an average wage, but all my overheads were exactly the same. Living in Sydney, where, you know, third most expensive city in the entire world in which to live in. Either in Australia, if I wanted to get them done, I could take out a loan in which I could get them done, but then that point is, with the loan, you still have to repay it. And then I had like a boyfriend who was like uber controlling. I've mentioned him before. He was a psychopath for 3 years, and it definitely, like, he would have lost his mind if I went and got a breast augmentation when we were dating. So pretty much, like, as soon as we broke up, I was like, I'm definitely getting them done, and I'm definitely getting my finances in check and saving as much as I can so that I can get, you know, what I want to do to make myself feel good about myself. So I actually made myself emotionally and mentally, I feel like I was in a really unhealthy state researching, right? Like, I researched for months and months, and probably everyone that's had a breast augmentation done, and I know that I'm not the only one, has been in this place before. Like, you research the different shapes, you research different sizes, you research the placement of them, you research the surgeons, you research where you're gonna go globally, where you're gonna do them, right? Like, it's like the first time you ever do this, and honestly, anyone who's been in this position will know exactly what I mean. But I actually drove myself to the point of insanity, even just like, oh my gosh, I hope that they end up the way that I want them to end up at the end result, like searching women who have had augmentations done on all the forums, like before and afters. And then meanwhile to say, like, I actually regret telling friends that I was going to have them done, because then all the friends were like all of them were like, what about the stretch marks? What about the this? What about that? And it's just like, oh my God, I've researched all of this. I know what I'm doing. It's my body. Stay out of this, right? So after all, like, I'd done all this research and whatever, I had booked in with, financially, I did not have the money to do it in Australia anyway. Like, I could have taken out a loan, but I also had done research and had friends that had gone overseas to Thailand to get them done as well. So I went to Thailand. I researched a couple of clinics in there. Now, I did book in with a clinic initially, or a hospital initially, that now is no longer in operation. And thank goodness that I didn't do it with this particular hospital as well, because now I have like the best breast augmentation like ever. And if I had done it at that original one, who knows what I would have got. Like, I might have probably got good, but I'll tell you why I didn't end up going with them. So I booked in with them, and they literally just kept changing my surgeon. They'll go, okay, they booked me in with one surgeon, then they changed it, go, sorry, he's now unavailable. They've changed my surgeon. Then he was no longer available. And after the third time that my surgeon got changed, I was like, forget it. Like, forget it. I don't want to even be like with this hospital any minute more. So I looked up the main hospital, and to be honest with you, the only reason that I went with that first one is from a price point. Like, I was on a lower, normal wage, and they were a little bit cheaper than the other hospital, right? But you know what, you pay sometimes a little bit more for better service. So then I recontacted Bangkok Hospital in Phuket, who I should have just contacted initially. And the price difference was like, they're only a little bit more. The other hospital now is no longer in operation, and probably why? Because they were probably kept messing people around, like with changing the surgeons on them all the time. So I went with that hospital. I got booked in with Dr. Piyapas. Now, Dr. Piyapas, I don't get anything out of saying all of this. I don't get anything. That the hospital doesn't even know that I'm doing this. I'm just basically telling you all of this because I get asked all the time, who did my breast augmentation? Because my breasts look natural even though they are enhanced. They're such a great job. I have not had any issues with them. They're perfectly symmetrical. They're the perfect size for my body. I had the best experience ever, and I get asked all the time who did mine. So I'm just going to share all of you. If you're ever considering getting a breast augmentation, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and you go to the right surgeon. Okay, so I actually am so happy that I went to Thailand and I had my particular surgeon. Let's face it, and let's just be real here. I have probably seen more breasts than your typical female. Like, I've seen more breasts, I've touched more breasts, I've seen so many breast augmentations done that I can safely say that. And I'm gonna just point out that this will probably backfire on me in some sort of way, and I'll probably get some sort of negative comments down below or dislikes, and you know what, I don't really care, because I'm going to be brutally honest to help all of you out. But for someone who has seen and felt and everything like that, so many more breasts, I'm going to say to you, if you're going to choose surgery in Australia to overseas, and I'm going to even say this from an American perspective, I wouldn't get them done in America either for different reasons, but the worst breast augmentations I have ever seen have come out of Australia. I've had seen so many friends of mine and girls who've taken out litigation against their surgeons. They're not symmetrical, they're bad scarring, they're capsular contracture. The price point to get it like a couple of $1,000s cheaper, you have to go to a cosmetic surgeon rather than a plastic surgeon, in which case you're put under like a light anesthesia, which is called twilight sedation, rather than a general anesthesia, which is, you can get completely knocked out. And I've had so many problems. Like, I've got a girlfriend of mine, and because she's been breastfeeding, now her breasts are saggy, so she's wanting to get them done, and her partner said, if something goes wrong, if I go overseas, I can't sue them. Well, you know what the point is that you sign consent forms in Australia anyway, that even if something does go wrong, it takes years and years and years and years and years of court cases to even prove litigation, to even get anything back. Like, there was a huge case recently where this particular surgeon If you ever knew, he was a cosmetic surgeon. He worked in a day clinic under twilight sedation, but messed up so many women's breasts. A girlfriend of mine was one of those girls, and this girlfriend of mine is a nurse. She's a cosmetic nurse as well. Like, she had inside information to all the industries. He stuffed up her breasts as well. All these women are like taking litigation against this one particular surgeon, and this is like going years later. Like, only some of them are getting the payment. So it doesn't even matter. Oh, like in Australia, you know, if something goes wrong, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter because you sign consent forms outlining the risks that are involved with the surgery, okay? Going back to Thailand again, so I had Dr. Piyapas. There is another professor there, Dr. Wittoon, and Dr. Wittoon, he's really good at the endoscopic breast augmentation, where you have they put a camera down inside your throat, and then they put the implant down into your armpit and into your breast in that way. I didn't do that because I wanted a really larger implant because I have big hips, big chest, that I wanted a bigger implant because that is more, to my knowledge, better for smaller implants. Now, after I got back, my girlfriend, I was asking me where I did mine, and I passed her on to the hospital that I did mine at, and she had hers done with Professor Wittoon because that was suitable for her. She got 250cc implants on each side, and she's an itty bitty tiny little girl, so they looked really great for her frame. And it came out really perfectly. From mine, I got 550ccs on each one. So a 550cc is quite large to be able to fit inside that small cavity and then go down into your breast. So the way to get, I went underneath here. And now I'm going to show you a photo of what my scarring is like now. My scarring is literally about this big. It is so, so thin. And you wonder how like a 550cc, so 550cc's is pretty much 550 mils. So over 2 cups of silicone cohesive gel in each one that fit into a little tiny scar. The Thais, the way they do, don't believe, you know, if something comes up on the media about, oh my gosh, I'm botched blowjobs in Thailand, this is the media, and media's propaganda. Again, I'm probably going to get a whole lot of, you know, stuff down in here. This is media's propaganda because essentially they wanted to keep money. And we all know that plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery is a huge, 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 huge income and a huge, huge influx to the economy. Okay, so they're wanting to keep the economy with inside these shore. But I can actually take my word for it that the best surgeons, plastic surgeons, are actually in Thailand. They are there. Have you ever seen a really bad looking ladyboy that come out of Thailand? No. Heaps of guys go over there and they get completely stuffed up by these ladies who are like, oh my gosh, you're the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen. Only late to like get back to the hotel room and realize, oh, it's a ladyboy. You know what I mean? Like, they do the best, most natural looking cosmetic surgery ever. So back to the point, the only really thing you need to worry about, and that's whether you were going to do it anywhere, like here or there or wherever. The reason I wouldn't do it in America is because they like a really fake plastic over the top done look. And if you're going to get a breast augmentation done, the big fake breast look is completely gone. What is in now is natural breasts. So even if you have small natural breasts or like large, big naturals are the most in fashion aspect ever. Okay, so if you're going to get a breast augmentation done, make sure you're not doing it to try and fit in with what is considered popular, because fake breasts are not actually in fashion anymore. That look has completely gone. Like the big fake lips, the fake tan, all that look is dead and gone. You've got it. Dead and gone and dusted, like it is gone. So if you're going to get your breasts done, make sure they're done very naturally, which is what they, in Thailand, which is what they actually prefer to do. Like they give you a very, very natural look. In fact, I had to fight and write down a consent for that I had these breasts, like the 550cc's inside my body, because they were saying, oh, you know, it's large. I had no skin, like my skin was so tight, and I'm going to try and find some photos for you so you can see what they were like, but they were pretty much like smushed up to my collarbone, and it's not something that I would usually do, but I insisted that I wanted them this large, and now they look really natural on me because I am a big frame girl. Like I'm not a small little itty bitty tiny girl, so they do fit my frame. But okay, so I'm not yet. So I was stayed in hospital for 1 night. And that is standard. Usually in Australia, you get your breast done and then they send you home. You know, it's not like a surgery that you need to stay in overnight for. Got a huge, huge giant room, all meals included. They picked me up from the airport. Keep in mind, guys, this was my very first time overseas ever, 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 ever. First time ever in a foreign country. I was so nervous. I literally didn't even, first time I've been through a customs. The hospital picked me up from the airport. They took me to the hospital because my stay was for the next morning. They gave me another night in hospital complimentary. So they put me in like that night, and then in the morning I did everything. It didn't pay any money until I'd met with my plastic surgeon, Dr. Piyapas, and I met with him already, went through everything, and I like pretty much like said, you know, I definitely want 550. I want the maximum size in there. But you have to take the word for it that they are plastic surgeons. They have like a really good eye. They know what size is best for you. So for me, no matter how much that I went and had a consultation in Australia and tried on different ones. Like you take in a bra and you try on different ones. You don't know really if round is better for you, teardrop, under, over. I went for what is called a dual plane, which is the top part is under the muscle and the bottom bit is over the muscle. Actually, back then I wanted over the muscle, and I'm so glad that I did not go over the muscle, thank God, because it would have looked more fake, and that look has completely died. The reason that I didn't go completely under the muscle like it was really recommended is one, because I'm athletic and I do a lot of weight training. So when they're sitting underneath the pectorals, your pectorals move. So I'm not going to do it on here because I'm not sure how strict YouTube are going to be with this. But when your pectorals move, you know, when you see guys like raise their pecs, like I can do that because I've got strong pectoral muscles, and the implants will move, and you can shift your implants sideways by doing so. So after you get your implants done, you cannot weight lift or lift anything heavy for a good 8 weeks afterwards. So you need to really take care of the post-operative care. But that's the reason I didn't go completely underneath the muscle, which in actual fact, nowadays, if I was to redo them again, I would love to go completely under the muscle, but I don't think it would be really suitable for someone like me who's weight training a lot, because I do have a higher chance of them moving, which is the reason that I went dual plane. And I do believe that dual plane is a really great way for like in the middle, because the top half is nice and flat, like it gives a natural look, and the bottom bit is curvy. So they look like, give that really natural look, symmetry as well. Whereas completely over the muscle, you have a higher risk of capsular contracture, and also it's an uber fake look. Like that look is gone, guys. Like it's done. That bolt-on look is dead. Like it died a long time ago. And anyone who says otherwise have their brains stuck in the 1990s and 1980s. It's like done and dusted. Like, don't do it. And don't get like implants which are uber ridiculously giant either. Like some people get what they call the booby greed, and then they just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, done. It's done. You're like, it's done. That look is gone, and it's just absolutely gross. Like you're going to destroy your back. You just look like a Powerpuff Girl. Like, no, girls, don't do that to your body. Don't get a size that's suitable and it fits your frame. Whether it's like my girlfriend who got 250cc and it suits her itty bitty tiny little frame, like she's probably a size 6, she's tiny. And me, like, yeah, mine are 550s, but I'm a bigger girl. Like they look natural for my frame of body. So with the aftercare as well, like what I took over to Thailand to just ensure that nothing would go in there, because there is coral spurs in the water over there. But it's the same principle as like, you're not going to get a breast augmentation done here and then go and swim in the beach or go swim in a chlorinated pool. Remember when you get your ears done when you're a kid, and like they say don't go swimming, then if you go swimming without a certain amount of time, you're going to get an infection. Like it's the same kind of principle. So what I did take over me, which I could not ever find anywhere over there. So all your post-operative things are all included, like all your post-operative meds. You can get garments there too. If not, I take some other garments from here. Otherwise, you can get them over there as well in the hospital. Hospital's like 5-star, like 5, 6, 7-star. And it's just like so many Western people going over there. The like level of care that I was given over there, you will not get that. And I know you do not get that in any hospital in Australia. Like even as a private patient, no, what you get over there is like nothing in comparison. So what I did take though is, you know, those waterproof dressings. So when I did have a shower, I was going out and made sure like if I had any sweat that like leaked down, because it is such a humid country, that didn't go inside the incisions. I didn't have any stitches on the outside. Everything was internal and a special kind of glue. So there was no stitches that needed to come out, which is another reason why my scarring is so amazing. Like I have minimal scarring. After like 2 weeks, I started to use profusely on my breasts and make sure I got no stretch marks at all. And also they encourage massaging of of your breasts as well. So you need to massage everything. This rotates the scar tissue. This rotates the implant and helps soften the scar tissue. And it's something that Thai surgeons are specifically encouraging of, as opposed to Western surgeons. And this will just help to like release the scar tissue and make everything nice and soft, which they call the drop and fluff, which is commonly known as that. So you just keep massaging in like a circular motion. And I used to massage in a mixture of vitamin E oil and silicone gel. And I have no stretch marks whatsoever, even from going from like nothing into a 550 cc's each side. Like now I'm an E cup breast. And as often people would say, oh, you don't look like an E, but I am an E. But because I have a bigger frame, like a bigger back, I probably don't look that big. But actually, if you measure me, yeah, I'm an E cup breast. And I went from an A, like A to E. So, you know, all that. So you've got to really keep that up. No weightlifting for at least 8 weeks. And no lifting heavy shopping bags. Get someone else to do that for you. Get trolleys, get long, like, you know, I don't even care if you look daggy, like those shopping trolleys. No weight training of your legs. Even when you're training your legs, like you are strict, like compressing your upper body. If you abide by all of these things, I guarantee you that after those 2 months, if you've done that hardcore mental things, you know, not working out and abiding by your aftercare and whatever your surgeon has advised. Some surgeons, like for me, I did not have to wear the compression bar. I was told to just wear a sports bra because mine really needed to drop down because I went from nothing into bigger size. Some people need to wear the compression bra. So just do whatever your surgeon tells you to do as your aftercare protocol, whatever that may be. I came back to Australia and I was like, oh my gosh, but he's such an amazing surgeon with such a great eye. And I'm going to put the link in down below. In case again, I don't get anything out from promoting this at all, anything from the hospital. But as I said, I do get asked a lot about my breasts and do get asked so much about, like, you know, I get asked all the time who did them, and I refer on. So I'm going to tell you, I had 550cc Mentor Round Smooth Cohesive Gel Silicone Implants, the same on left and right breast. What a YouTube disclaimer, what was suitable for me may not be suitable for you. You may need a teardrop implant. You may need over the muscle. You may need, for whatever your lifestyle is, you may need something else. But I am going to actually say that my surgeon was the best surgeon ever, and the hospital that I went to, I cannot fault them one single bit. They were like amazing, amazing, amazing. And that I can safely say that it doesn't really matter if you think about, oh, you know, litigation in Australia to if you go overseas, you know, what about this, what about that? Even if something goes wrong in Australia, like the litigation process is such a long and expensive initially for you and drawn out process, and mentally, like psychologically, to go through all of that as well, then you might as well just, you know, try and get it right the first time rather than thinking about that something is going to go wrong anyway. So that's it. That's the details down below for Dr. Piyapas and the hospital. Now, when I said about, they have actually moved the hospital clinic, not like it's still part of Bangkok Hospital in Phuket, but it's at that different branch now. Remember how I said that first hospital shut down? Well, they've shut down completely, and the Bangkok Hospital Phuket has bought and moved into the plastic surgery department. So they're at a separate location now to the main hospital. So I haven't seen the new side of that yet. I've only ever been to like the main hospital bit, but I know their standards are just like far superior. And then when you go back, you usually get put inside presidential suite, which is like bigger than like a penthouse in a hotel room. It's like huge, huge. Anyway, guys, I'm over and out. So wishing you all a amazing Women's Health Week, and I'm going to stay tuned with you later because I have some other things for the ladies coming up this week too. Guys, catch you later.